All right, I'm on to article number 2, and I'm continuing with text marking and writing in the margins. One of our goals is to identify the advantages and disadvantages of the alternative energy we are researching. So you'll see here that I found how fuel cells work for hydrogen energy, so I underlined that text evidence and noted that in the margin so that when I'm explaining how hydrogen energy works, I have that information really handy. And I wanted to start color coding my advantages and disadvantages in the text because I definitely know that I'm going to have to compare and contrast those two things. So instead of underlining the whole paragraph, I just kind of make it stand out to myself so I can go back to the text. And in this article, I started to find out who invented or who was the person involved in finding fuel cells and hydrogen energy and when. So more like a little bit of the history of hydrogen energy, which I probably will include in my research report. So I identify that in my margins, the when and the who. And this article here talked about a timeline of hydrogen energy, so I think that will be useful as I research and continue and report out. I was able to find some more information about the practical uses of hydrogen energy. So I'm just noting that in the margins here because I want to be able to put this in my own words, and say that the Navy uses fuel cells in their submarines and NASA uses hydrogen power in their spacecraft. So I'm just jotting down things that I know that I can write about that I learned as I read this article. I continue on, and later on in the article, it gave me 5 types of fuel cells, and I was able to tell that by this huge heading here. And as I was reading, I'll scroll down, you'll see that I didn't highlight very much because I don't think that I want to include the different types of fuel cells for hydrogen energy in my report. That's kind of straying away from exactly what it is and how it works and the advantages and disadvantages. I did read it, but I didn't find information that I think would help me in my research. So all I did was, when I did find something that I will use, which are the common uses, here I just put a bracket around the one paragraph I do want to use, and I just left the rest alone. I did read it to make sure it didn't have information pertaining to what I was looking for, but it didn't, so I'm leaving that alone and just taking what this article gave me. Sometimes articles will not give you the information you're looking for. It'll give you extra information. So you have to be the thinker who decides, is this the right article for me for what I want to write about and learn? I have one more article to read, so I will show you that next.